Hey, Josh. Thanks. All right, we'll be getting started in a minute or two. It's a beautiful morning. Who did that song? It's a beautiful morning. Who knows? Music trivia. It's a beautiful morning. Here's another one, same band. How can I be sure in a world that's constantly changing? How can I be sure where I stand with you? You got it. David, you get them every time. You get them every time. The Rascals. All right, one more. And so it was that later, when the miller told his tale. Who did that song? Conquistador. Dun dun dun. Dun 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 dun. You don't know that one? Turn the whiter shade of pale. All right. That's my favorite band in the whole world. Look at my email, procall33. Procall Hound. And the lead singer's sick. They just canceled all their shows for the first half of the year. Pretty worried of them. Yeah, right. You never heard of them. Right. Give me a break. It's in the top 5 of most played songs in the history of life. Whiter shade of pale. Actually, a whiter shade of pale. Top 5 most played songs in the history of life. No joke. David, I have every single one. I don't want you to waste your time. I have every single link to every concert they've ever done. TV shows. The best concert they ever did was live in Denmark, outdoors, 2006. It's all over YouTube. It is so beautiful. Full orchestra. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. What's interesting about the band is, yes, everyone is not in the band that was in the band when they first started. But the guy who sang is, and his voice was the band. But the members that are in the band now have been the same for the past 10 years, maybe longer. Longer than when the band was together in the beginning of time, when they first started. So in other words, the members that are in the band today are longer members than the members that used to be in the band when it first started. Now, the drummer, unfortunately, died of an overdose, was one of the greatest drummers who ever lived. I mean, he was incredible. Robin Trower was their guitar player. He went off to a solo career. If you remember a very popular record called Bridge of Sighs, very, very big hit. He had a very good solo career, and he still tours today. He quit the band because he always wanted to be Jimi Hendrix. He's an amazing guitar player, Robin Trower. But Gary Brooker is the singer and the keyboard player, the piano player. He really was always the driving force behind Procol Harum. He was the writer, along with a lyricist, Keith Reed. But they made a record about 2 years ago that was decent, not bad, not bad. They're touring is amazing. Absolutely unbelievable. Unbelievable live. As good as the original band, if not better. I actually got to open for them in Denmark, not in Denmark, in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. A friend of mine was the booking agent, and he asked me if I wanted to open for them. And a funny story. So they have a suite called In Held 'Twas an I. It's like a 20-minute, one side of a whole record. The most amazing piece of music, maybe that I've ever heard in my whole life. My favorite piece of music. By the way, welcome, YouTube. We're just talking music for a minute. Sign up for our channel. Hit the notification bell so you know the next time we're here. Talking Procol Harum, sorry. My name is Lee Goldstein, the trading director for 10-Minute Trades. Please remember all trades that you take and all trades we discuss are for educational purposes. All trades we take are for educational purposes. It is possible to lose money trading futures, so please trade carefully. So I want to finish this funny story. So I got to open for Procol Harum. It was about, I don't know, 8 years ago. Naturally, of course, I run into them after the show. They call me Lee Goldberg, which is actually anti-Semitic in my opinion. Didn't even know my name. Everybody knows that every Jew is named Goldberg. So that was pretty embarrassing. But I had an upset stomach during the sound check, and I spent it in the lavatory. And for their sound check, they played the whole piece in Held 'Twas an I, and I missed the whole thing because I was sick in the bathroom before the show. The piece of music, my all-time favorite piece of music in my whole life. Anyway, ridiculous story, has nothing to do with trading. But I'm going to start piping music into the trade room. I wish I've been bugging the guy that wrote the trade room software to let me just put in MP3s. But you can't just plug in MP3s. You have to either do SoundCloud or YouTube videos. So I have to convert every MP3 to a YouTube video. It's a pain. Anyway, today, trading the 20-year bond auction. It is family money. It's not the best bond auction out of all of them. The 30-year is the best. But the 20-year often acts like the 30-year. I'm using a 3-tick bracket. I'm not using 2-tick brackets on any bond reports anymore. What I'm looking for on a bond report is a big move. I don't really, I don't enjoy the bond reports that are dull. If they're dull, they're generally not real good. We want to catch. I'd rather not get filled. I don't want to get filled on the wrong side. And a 2-tick bracket in the markets behaving the way they're acting today, in general, is a little bit small of a bracket for bonds. You can use a 2-tick bracket. If it's a dull report, you might have a better chance of not losing money with the 2-tick bracket. The other side of the coin is a 2-tick bracket might get you filled on the wrong side before the news comes out. So those are the things you have to weigh out. For me, I made my decision when I got stopped out on a 20-year bond auction a couple of months ago because I didn't use a 3-tick bracket. I'm using a 3. I found this report. I tested it with a 3-tick bracket, and that's what I'm trading it with. This was last month's. We have a very special time that we enter this trade. 13:01:30. Jaquan, you're with me. Jaquan, how you been, man? You haven't said a word in ever. Have you been coming to the rooms? You don't love us anymore. Yeah, I know what you mean, Jacqueline. Well, I like this family money thing because I like the family money thing, but I'm really upset with myself for not trading oil this morning. I knew oil was going to be a winning trade. It was a guarantee. It was almost guaranteed. Not guaranteed, almost guaranteed. I should have traded it. What's interesting is building permits and housing starts was a winner yesterday. Also, the markets are not trading badly. Tomorrow, there's no family money trades except for natural gas. The Thursday jobless, I'm trading live anyway. I'm going to trade that because it's been behaving not badly. It doesn't always go the right direction, um, but it's been working. So I'll take the shot on it. But I just can't trade it in the regular account because we're tracking the family trading in the regular account for the next 2 months. That's what we're doing. So I like the family money trading. Um, but I told everybody I'd still do some extra trades. We want to have at least one trade room a day, no matter what. Now, sometimes Mondays there's no room anyway. Date night trades. That's funny. So last month I lost money because of the two tick bracket. That's the truth. I think if I used a two tick bracket, I would have hit my first target. Let's see. Yes, I would have, because look, it touches it, okay, and doesn't get filled. So, I mean, that's the downside. Look, if the markets are super calm today, maybe I'd consider it, but they're not, to be honest. If you look at a 15-minute chart, there's been a fair amount of volatility in bonds. I just don't want to get filled on the wrong side because we sometimes wait quite a while before we get filled. So last month, not a great trade, nothing to write home about. The month before that, in March, let's see what happened. Pretty dull also. This report is due for a good move. It's due for a good move. If you didn't want to trade it, I would not call you a chicken or a baby. It's not the best of the bond trades. Okay. It's not the best. But you almost always have a chance to get out with a small loss if you want to. Okay. But it really hasn't been behaving that well. That's the truth. But it's a bond trade. And the bond trades, when they burst, they're really good. Let's see, did I use a two tick? I think I used a three tick bracket last month. It's hard to tell. Looks like that was 30, 31. Might have used two. Used a two. Now, There have been some months occasionally where a 2-tick bracket, 3-tick bracket would not have gotten you filled. And a 2-tick, you lost a little bit of money. I think it's probably even. This was back in February. That's definitely a 2-tick bracket. Now, that was an explosive move. And that's the kind of move I'm looking for. Okay. And we've been getting a lot more of that on the bond trades as of late. That's why I want that 3-tick bracket to keep me out of the trade unless there's a big fat move. Let's look at December just for fun. Now, if you're on YouTube, give us a like if you would. We'd appreciate it. Sign up for our channel. And then, give me a super chat with $500 already, will you? We trade live. Let me have a super chat with $500. I'd really appreciate that. I'll donate it to charity. How's that? The Lee Goldstein Charity of Traders. Just kidding, folks. Just kidding. So this is December's trade. The market's nothing like today in December. They're very different today. Then after this trade at 1:30, we've got the FOMC minutes. I don't know what to do at FOMC minutes. It's definitely not a family money trade. So we made some money back in December. So let's watch the market for a little bit. We got 15 minutes, a little bit more. So the daily market mover report. How's everybody doing? We got a lot of people in here. How's everybody out there? I see AM, my buddy is here. AM, it's always good to see you. Brian, always good to see you. Joshua, it's good to see you from Canada. Harold, always good to see you. Fred, I'm ready to fight whenever you're ready. I'm ready. Joe, of course. Zoso, I don't know who you are. I'd like to know who you are. Mike, of course. Everybody, hello. KT and TJ and Mark, everybody, etc., etc. You know, I really like everybody being here. So you're in LA? I just want to know who you really are, because I don't know your screen name. I don't know your screen name. Okay, let me set up the trade. So I hope I don't get killed on my electric bike. It's being delivered Saturday. I am a little bit scared that I will kill myself. I mean, it is Philadelphia. Let's see, what am I doing? I'm setting up the trade. I'm going to be making videos all the time. I'm going to get a GoPro and I'm going to travel around my house and my office and make videos and start a YouTube channel, become famous. It's easy to become famous with 20 subscribers, right? I already have a theme song. Old man, Neil Young's Old Man. Old man, I don't remember the words. Old man, look at me now. I'm a lot like you were. Old man, look at me now. I'm a lot like you were. They just released 50th anniversary. 50th anniversary of the Deja Vu album. Anybody know who did that album? David, you're not allowed to answer. You're not allowed to answer. Zoso, what do you mean? Wait, 24 and there's so much more. What, why does, yeah. Okay. Right. Old Man, Look at My Life. Very good song. Neil Young's first record, The Loner. His first solo record had Down by the River and Cowgirl in the Sand on the same record. It was unbelievable. But there was a song on it that affected my whole life and all of my songwriting as long as I ever lived. And it's called I've Been Waiting for You. It had a rhythmic introduction that was musical, that was just amazingly catchy. It was called I've Been Waiting for You, an incredibly great song also. I've been waiting for you for such a long time now, for such a long time. Really good song. I highly recommend Neil Young's first solo record. It's got The Loner on it. It's way before Old Man, I believe. I don't think Old Man it's much, Old Man's later. I don't remember when Old Man was written, which record it was on. All right, so 20-year bond. I am using a 3 bracket. Everything else, I'm doing the same. Like I said, I don't want to get filled on the wrong side. I'm willing to give up a little bit of profit in my account if it's kind of dull and it just barely fills me and doesn't hit my targets because I used a 3 bracket. That's the trade-off I'm willing to take. Targets of 2 and 6, a stop of 3. The key to the bond reports is the entry time, 1301.30, because that's when these reports generally start to become affected. And we use a 90-second cancel on this trade, 90-second cancel. Now, because it's not the best performing bond report, I'm just going to trade 2 contracts. If it has a great move, we'll have a decent profit. Let me just think for a second. It's 287 if you trade 3. So I think it's due for a good move. I really do. So I'm going to put 2 contracts on my first target of 2 ticks. Okay. Now look, I might get stopped out. It's possible. There's no guarantees in trading, but it's family money trade. Bond trades are generally been good. So 2 contracts for 2 ticks, 1 for 6, stop of 3. The entry time is 1301.30. We're going to record this. I've been waiting for you for such a long time. For such a long time. Wow. Bam, 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 bam. Now, in those days, I think, pretty sure he was playing with Crazy Horse. Crazy Horse is still Neil Young's backup band, but not all the time. He doesn't always play with them. Just like Neil Young didn't always play with Crosby, Stills, and Nash. He was just an occasional visitor. Deja Vu, 50-year anniversary of the album. Teach Your Children is on that record. Deja Vu, of course, is on that record. Carry On, maybe one of the best songs they ever wrote. 4 and 20. Really, really good record. Whether you're a baby boomer or a millennial or you were born 25 years ago, Deja Vu is a record, a recording that holds up today. It's beautiful. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, they don't make music like that anymore, because they do. All you have to do is listen to Bruce Hornsby. All you have to do is listen to Bon Iver. He's amazing. But there really is nowhere near the amount of great music today that there was 30 years ago. There just isn't. And it's because of the technology. Too much automation, too much software, squeezing the life out of a lot of music. Not all of it, but a lot. There's a lot. I mean, there's a lot of good artists now. I mean, really, there's a lot of great dead artists, artists that died way before their time, like Tupac. I loved Tupac. I loved, well, I can't think of his name now. Too many people died young, way too many people. All right, just label the trade 20-year bond. ZB is what I'm trading. Let's go over the setup one more time. So the setup I'm using is a bracket of 3, 2 contracts for 2 ticks, 1 contract for 6 ticks. Entry time of 13:01:30. You know, you mentioned Glenn Campbell, Mike, and a lot of people really don't know the truth about Glenn Campbell. Glenn Campbell was one of the greatest guitar players who ever lived, and he was the greatest, most popular studio guitar player and the most sought after studio guitar player before he had his solo and TV career. He was an amazing guitar player, and most people don't know him. They know the goofy Glenn Campbell that was on TV, you know, in those silly shows. But he was amazing, seriously. And, you know, he died a very terrible death. Loved the Isley Brothers, Raquan. They were awesome. You know who I really loved? I love Hall and Oates. Hall and Oates, when they broke up, they never really broke up. They're friends forever. But Hall did a show on the internet live at Daryl's house. And he had, not the Isley Brothers, Get On Board. Get On Board. What's the name of that song? Oh, it's not Soul Train. Get On Board. Ah, da, 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 da. Oh, I can't believe I can't think of it. OJ's. Yeah. What was their train song called? It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. But the version with Hall, Love Train. Right. Love Train. Get on board the love train. The love train. Da, 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 get on board the love train. It's amazing. But you got to Google Daryl's house and watch it on YouTube. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Yes, Joe Walsh is a mystery to me. I always loved him when he was a solo artist. I mean, and that really goes way, way back. Way back. What was the name of his band? He had a great band before he was with the Eagles, way before the Eagles. But Joe Walsh always seems to be so wasted. And at times in his life he was, but he's sober now, from what I understand. I don't know how he could. The James Gang. Yeah, of course. The James Gang. They had that hard rock tune that is so amazing. I can't remember the name of the song, but I love it. Love the James Gang. Love the James Gang. Joe Walsh, tremendous history. Yes, he was awesome on Daryl's House. Everybody is good on Daryl's House. Daryl Hall brings out the best in people because he's an amazing player. He can play with anybody. When you see that show, you realize how great of a musician he is. He just plays with everybody and he adds something to everybody that he plays with. Now, you know what, Jaquan? I don't know Bobby Caldwell. I don't know Bobby Caldwell. I was not a gigantic Bon Jovi fan, but you can't deny, he had that one record that was so big, and the guy is so good looking. I mean, how do you get so lucky in life that you could be that talented and that good looking? Yep, the Slippery When Wet record was great. Was great. I mean, he's a talented guy. There's no doubt about it. No doubt about it. But that show is just great. Just great. Daryl's House. Live at Daryl's House. I heard they were going to bring it back because they haven't been doing new ones in a very long time. It's been years. Then I heard they were going to bring it back and it never happened. Way before the world crisis. Well, it had nothing to do with what's going on. It was way before that they said they were going to bring it back. Let's check our sync by going to the website time.is. Let's not forget time.is. Hey, let's check our time. Did I put my time in properly? Let's check our time. Make sure I put my time in properly on my trade. All this yakking. 13:01:30 is the correct entry time. Did 13:01:30. It's a breakout trade. Trading it with real live money. 2 contracts for 2 ticks, 1 contract for 6 ticks, a stop of 3. Looking for a good move. If we get it, we get it. If we don't get it, we don't get it. Jaquan, I'm always time OCD. I'm always doing my time. On this trade, it's not as vital because this trade does not trigger usually at a specific moment. You know what I mean? It takes a while. It does take a while. But this is why I use a 3-tick bracket. Even a 3-tick bracket is not that big with bonds in this day and age. So 13:01:30, our orders will show up on the chart and we'll wait 19 seconds. So 13:02:30 at 13:03, at 1:03, we'll cancel our trade if we don't get filled. If we get filled, that'd be nice. If we can make a few dollars. And then we'll be back at 1:30 if we don't just stay for the FOMC minutes. Now we weren't streaming the FOMC minutes, but we are streaming tonight's Australia jobs report at 9 o'clock, 9 p.m. Eastern time. We are streaming Australia's jobs report. Get on board the love train, love train. Get on board the love train, the love train. Love those OJs. They can sing. Great, what a great show that was. But when you think about it, the first hit record that Hall & Oates had, does anybody know what it was? I do. The first hit record they had. I'm watching. I mean, there's pre-trade volatility. It was She's Gone, which is one of the most amazingly perfect produced records ever in the history of music, I think. It's amazing. The ending of that song, the emotion, it's just incredible. Maneater was great. Maneater was after that, Fred. She's Gone was first. Maneater was more almost in the middle of their popularity. They had so many hits. Sarah Smile. They were so popular for quite a few years. Quite a few years. I heard they were touring again, or were planning on it. All these legacy acts have to tour because there's no money in streaming for most acts. That's the big problem that they're all dealing with. Money has dried up. So we have another whole minute to wait and see if there's any reaction to this report. Now, usually 45 seconds, most of the time you see it, but you just never know with these bond reports. All right, so I struggled to get filled. You saw me struggling to get filled. And so we made 156. If it keeps moving down, of course, I'll be upset, but it was not quite as powerful a move as I wanted, but a little better than the average bond report. Okay. A little better than the average bond report. I struggled with my stop and target. I just wanted to protect my first target. That was my main concern. Protect the first target. So we could stay in the room. Hey, Joshua, it will be a million times better. Your fills should be a million times better. Josh, did you trade that live? Let me turn off my trade so I don't do something stupid. Let me take a picture. Josh, what was your short entry? What was your short entry? If you all want to stay in the room, and Chantal, you can leave YouTube running if people stay, and we'll let them watch the next trade also. So I wouldn't call that a trade of the week, but it's a decent trade. There's nothing wrong with that trade. Anytime you could make almost $200 spending half an hour yakking, talking about music, and then trading for 1 minute, there's nothing wrong with that, right? So if you made money, please send me a picture. So Josh, you did exactly what I did. Jaquan, I'm going to kill you for canceling. Don't cancel these bond trades. Just do what I do. You know that I'm impossible, and it's so hard for me not to cancel also. And I totally understand it. Totally. It's so hard. So hard. You think it's not going to work because it didn't move. But these bond reports, they're always slow. They're always slow. So, Josh, your fill sounds like it was about what mine was, 21. Now, Jaquan, that's a different story. That's a different story. So, Josh, what was your fill? Jaquan, that's a different story entirely. If you're protecting a decent profit from earlier, then you could keep it. I don't have a problem with that at all. 101. No, that's your time. What was your the 156.21? What was the price that you got short? I got short at 156.21. And I made a total of 5 ticks, grand total. $31.25 a tick. 23 and 19. Good, good, good. Not bad, not bad, not bad. Definitely better, Josh. Definitely better. Now I think you'll find that your trades should be equivalent to what everybody's getting, even though you're in another country. All right. So look, folks, I think we got out at just the right time today. It did not follow through any further than it went. So I think it was perfectly fine. So do you all want to stay in the room and we'll talk about music, or do you want to come back in 20 minutes? You tell me. Yeah, I'll come back in 20. We'll come back in 20. All right. Thank you, YouTube folks. You saw us make money. You saw us make money. Funk 49, right, second wind. Right, second wind. Funk 49. That's the James Gang tune. It was awesome. It was awesome. All right, folks. I'll see everybody. We will be back at 1:30 for the FOMC minutes. Okay? We'll be back at 1:30. So come on back, and I'll see everybody in a little while. Get on board the love train. The love train. Maybe it's going down now. All right. See you in a little bit.